Welcome to the Battletoads Retrospective, a video series that aims to recap every game in this toadtastic franchise, leading up to the latest release on Xbox One on August 20th. Join us as we hop from console to console, covering the evolution of Battletoads as they move from the living room to the arcade, from the Game Boy to the Game Gear, and from the Amiga to the Mega Drive. It all starts in 1991 with Battletoads in the Nintendo Entertainment System. Chaw, things are about to get seriously tubular. Part platformer, part beat 'em up, part racing. Battletoads was just about as varied as a game could possibly get. And with its diversity came tough as nails difficulty. If you wanted to experience everything that the inaugural title had to offer, you needed to totally master each stage to near perfection. Luckily, there's a bit of incentive to drive you forward, in that both Princess Angelica and your fellow Toad Pimple have been taken hostage by the beautifully villainous evil Dark Queen, who challenges the remaining Rash and Zits to reach her for a proper showdown. It's a good thing that the Toads have Professor T-Bird, who hatches a plan of attack against the bodacious babe to reach the Tower of Shadows, starting on the surface of Ragnarok's Canyon. It's here where the Battletoads can start performing their smash hits, like Swingin' Size 13s and Battletoad Butt, to conquer any of the minions that stand in their way. Once they reach the end, they'll encounter the laser-firing Boss Walker. This dude may appear opposing at first, but once the Toads grab some rock and roll, it's totally lights out. After a bit of taunting from the Dark Queen, it's off to the next stage in Professor T-Bird's plan, the Wookiee Hole. This killer chasm descends deep into the planet. The only way through is to dangle from above and make your way down. Unfortunately, this shaft is filled with Saturn toad traps and mutant ravens who try to snip your turbo cable in two. Hey, speaking of turbo, the most infamous level in all of Battletoads, the Turbo Tunnel. It seems pretty tame at first, but once you manage to pummel your way through to the speeder bike, things ramp up to the extreme, brah. You'll have to speed through the rest of the tunnel, avoiding every obstacle that's been placed in your path. If you're too slow to react and smash into a wall, you're toast. There are checkpoints to be found along the way, but good luck, bro. If your reaction time is flawless, you might stand a chance. Otherwise, you'll join the millions of players that couldn't get past it. We have support groups, dude. It's gonna be okay. If you can make it through the Turbo Tunnel, you'll arrive in the Arctic Caverns. The Toads will have to contend with all sorts of freezing threats in here, like slippery slopes, devious spike traps, and killer ice blocks. As if this all wasn't difficult enough, your path is routinely blocked by ice walls that freeze up your progress. You'll need to find a way to break the ice, and then make your way to the next frostbitten section. Your platforming skills will be tested relentlessly here, so stay frosty and look before you leap. Hang loose, dude. It's Surf City. Rash and Zits will need to skim across the waves and avoid getting sucked down into the whirlpools. They'll go chasing waterfalls and leap right over them for some gnarly hang time. The professor sends the Toads into Karnath's lair next, and it's the pits. You gotta hitch a ride on the giant snake as they wrap around the cavern. You can't freeload forever though, so you'll have to leap from one snake onto another when they return to their holes. Watch out for the spikes in the later caverns, they can be a real bummer. Once you've escaped into an exit of your own, you'll progress into the easiest level in all of Battletoads. Just kidding, brah. It's Volkmeyer's Inferno. If you thought the Turbo Tunnel was hard, you haven't seen anything yet. Substituting the speeder bike for the jet turbo, you'll need to dash in between the gaps of fire before they can close in on each other. This challenge is extremely demanding, and if you miss a single gap, you'll go up in flames. No pressure, though. If you can pass the first checkpoint, you'll be thrown into an onslaught of oncoming fireballs. Still, it's not an entirely white-knuckle race against the Inferno. Nah, dude, there's missiles, too. Survive this radical ride in a blaze of glory, and you'll begin the final approach to the Dark Queen. You'll reach an all-new high in the Intruder Excluder. The Battletoads will need to ascend this great girder grapple, making every jump count, threading their way through electrified platforms to get to the very top. Once they've arrived, they'll face off against Robo-Manus in his Battletoads debut. The Toads may finish him off here, but as the Dark Queen's right-hand henchman, he's not going away anytime soon. The terrifying Terra Tubes are next. This maze-like bit of plumbing is filled with spike traps and mechno droids. But the most threatening of the bunch are the crazy cogs. These dudes will chase you through the pipes trying to sink their teeth into some toad. Finish it all off with a slow fall into madness, and you've got this place beat. Tubular! The rat race mixes things up again. This time you'll compete directly with a trio of giblets that try to use their speed to beat you to the bomb below. You have to thread the needle through the girders and moving platforms to get there first. For your history, dude. Once you reach the bottom, you'll face off against another Battletoads regular, General Slaughter. Grab this bull by the horns or hit him with your own to send him off without a salute. The Clinger Winger's the final race of the game, and the Dark Queen isn't messing around. You'll need to flee from the buzzball that gives chase through the stage, pressing the right direction when this anti-gravity track goes full tilt. If you can manage to beat the ball to the finish line, you'll have a chance at exacting some revenge. Who's too close for comfort now? Once you've beaten the buzzball, it's time for a little revolution. Brave the dizzying heights of this endless spire, and you'll earn the right to enter the Dark Queen's domain. You'll need to battle the elements as well as the disappearing platforms to succeed here. Otherwise, it's a wicked way down. Now it's on to the final stage of Professor T-Bird's plan. It's time to face off against the Dark Queen herself. While we're here to start a revolution, the Dark Queen will start her own as she spins into a whirlwind. She'll try to dig her heels in, so do what you can to avoid this bodacious babe and show no mercy. Once she's had enough, the Dark Queen totally bails, allowing you to reunite with Princess Angelica and restore the unstoppable Toad Trio. Radical, dude! Notorious for its difficulty and praised for its gameplay, wild graphics, and stellar music, Battletoads made a huge splash when it first released on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So much so that this first adventure would be ported over to the Game Boy, the Game Gear, the Sega Mega Drive, and the Amiga, although each version features its own marked differences. For the most complete adventure, you'll want to go with Battletoads on the Sega Mega Drive. Developed by Rare, this version of Battletoads is the most faithful of all the ports. It features every level as it appeared on the Nintendo Entertainment System, with the bonus of bumping up the bits, which made Ragnarok a lot more colorful and detailed. Even the Dark Queen was looking particularly righteous. The Amiga personal computer and the Amiga CD32 would also get a version of Battletoads, but it has the most changes compared to any other release. For one thing, several stages were removed from the Professor's plans and translation, which means that both the Turbo Tunnel and Surf City are missing from the game. Instead, Battletoads Amiga has the Toads piloting a jet turbo through a rocket-filled cavern in a stage called Potholin. It also sees them using a jetpack to fly up through an inverted spike-filled Wookiee hole called Backpacking. The Sega Game Gear also received a version of Battletoads to play on the go. Aside from a few tweaks like adding a new type of obstacle in the Turbo Tunnel that forced players to pick a path, the Game Gear appeared to be pretty faithful at first. But the more you played, the more you noticed that the third act had been slimmed down considerably. That's because the Intruder Excluder, Terra Tubes, and Rat Race were completely missing from this version. That meant that you'd have to skip directly from Volkmeyer's Inferno into Clinger Winger. Major bummer, dude! The Game Boy would follow suit with its version of the game known as Battletoads in Ragnarok's World. Things moved a lot more smoothly in this monochromatic port, but the entire game was just too big for one cartridge. Battletoads in Ragnarok's world would miss out on Surf City, as well as the cut levels mentioned in the Game Gear version. Luckily, it still featured the Turbo Tunnel, appearing exactly as infuriating as it did on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That about covers it for the first Battletoads adventure in this retrospective. Join us next time as we take a look at the first direct sequel exclusively on the Game Boy with Battletoads GB. Catch you later, dudes!